we go, you guys. Okay. So I'm not really very good at the hula hoop, as far as actually doing the hula hoop. And this is my daughter's hula hoop that she's letting me borrow for this video for you guys. Because I want to explain something. And somebody did this for me. When I was in the beginning of recovery, I remember being in this room full of guys. And they took a hula hoop. And the leader basically set the hula hoop down in the middle. And we had to, what we had to do is we had to write out the things in our life that we don't have control over, right? We had to make a list of 100 of those. 100 different things that outside we didn't have control over. And this is the concept, and you'll hear me talk about it a lot. This is the concept of the hula hoop, okay? So we began to write out 100 different things that were outside of our hula hoop, that were outside of our control. And when I first thought about this task, I was like, man, that's a really big challenge. But when you really break it down, majority of things you realize are not in my control. How somebody else reacts is not in my control. What the weather's like, what the traffic is like, how somebody else is driving, whether or not somebody else drinks or not, whether or not all these situational things are outside of my hula hoop. And then what we did was we began to write down things that were still outside of our control, that were inside of our hula hoop. So I'm standing inside the hula hoop, and I begin to list out these things to this group and say, things that aren't in my control, whether my heart is beating or not right now. It's in my hula hoop, it's in my circle of me, but I can't control it if it's going. Whether my hair is slowly getting grayer or not, can't control it, it's just happening, right? And there's a lot of things around, inside of my hula hoop, I still don't have control over. And then we began to make the list of the things that we do have control over inside of our hula hoop. And so that is my challenge for you guys today. Here it is, right? We have a hula hoop. And I want you to write down the biggest list you can come up with of all the things outside of your hula hoop that you do not have control over. And then I want you to write down what also you still don't have control over that's inside of your world, inside of your hula hoop, inside of you. And then I want you to write down the things that you do control. What are the things you can control inside of your hula hoop? I'm going to give you one simple one. You can control how you react to any situation. Any situation, you have total control of your reactions. Second, I'll give you two actually. Sorry, I said one. I'll give you one more. This one's a big one for me. I can't even control sometimes the thoughts that come into my head, but once they come into my head, I can take it captive and I can choose what to do with that thought. See, somebody could cut me off and I could go, oh, come on, right? But then that was a thought that it was automatic response if it happened, but now I have a choice. Inside of my hula hoop, I can choose what do I do with that. Do I let it agitate me? Do I let it lead me down a path of a negative day? Do I let it run me all the way to the spot where I choose to drink? Do I choose that? Because I have control of certain things inside of my hula hoop. So I know it's a funny analogy, but it's one you'll remember. Every single time a situation arises, every single time a thought comes up, every single time what happens is you can ask the simple question, is this inside my hula hoop or outside of it? Do I have control over this situation or not? And let me tell you one thing, you guys, that is absolutely amazing about this. Is that once you realize there's a limited amount of things that you actually have control over, it is freeing. It is so freeing to know that I do not have control over how the world responds. I don't have control over the situations that go on outside of my little bubble of me. I don't even have control over how my kids are going to choose to respond to what I ask them to do. I don't have control over those things. I do have control of myself and how I work and respond to the world, to people, to situations. I have the choice inside of my loop to choose to pick up a drink today or not. I have the choice to choose who I want to spend my time with, my energy with. I have that choice. I can't choose how they act, what they do. I can't choose if I say, no, I don't want to go hang out with you right now. I have no control over that. That's outside my hula hoop. But I have control of me. And when that happens, you guys, it is freeing. It is so freeing. when you can finally begin to realize the things that you only have control over and to let all the other ones go, to release them. All right, you guys, so write out today. Take the time, write it out. Make the list. I want to hear your list. I want when you guys come to the next Zoom group that you jump in, that you're part of, I want you to go, hey, I got my list. I want to share it with you. I want you to email me your list. Zach at Braving the Journey, just email it to me. Go, hey, here, check out my list of all the things that are inside my hula hoop and outside that I don't have control over. Guys, write it, share it on the Facebook group, share it, because I want the world to get to hear and see, and that's how we learn. We learn from each other. Because you're going to put something down that you go, I do not have control over this because it's outside of my hula hoop, and then we're going to hear it and we're going to go, oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I don't have control over that. So share it with us. Share it on the Facebook group, you guys. That's a great place to share it. All right, everybody. Stay inside your hula hoop today.